Today, let's have an interesting comparison review on two SUVs that many of you had requested for earlier. These two SUVs may not necessarily be direct competitors, but one can make a good alternative to the other. These are the 2015 Toyota Harrier and 2015 Kia Sorento. I did a review of the Harrier some time back and I mentioned that the Sorento can be a very good alternative to the Toyota Harrier. So why would you buy a Sorento over the well-established Toyota Harrier? Let's first compare these cars, then at the end of this video we will see if indeed Sorento is a worthy alternative. So please stick around and do also consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars as well as bikes. Welcome to IK Reviews. So the 2015 Toyota Harrier is the third generation, which was in production from 2013 till 2020, while the 2015 Sorento is also the third generation that was in production from 2014 till 2020, and it shares the same platform, engines, and even transmissions with its cousin, the Hyundai Santa Fe. So for some reason, if you're unable to get a specific engine, transmission, or suspension component for the Kia Sorento, then you can as well get a Hyundai Santa Fe part and it will work just fine. So beginning with the prices, the Harrier costs roughly between 3.1 million shillings to around 4 million shillings depending on the mileage and trim level. There are three trim levels: Grand, Elegance and Premium. The Sorento on the other hand is going for roughly around 3.5 million shillings. This car is not so common on Kenyan roads and even finding them in car dealerships is not easy, but it's going for roughly around 3.5 million shillings or more, again depending on the mileage and trim level. For that price, it actually offers quite a lot for the money. In fact, some variants even come with 2 extra seats at the third row. Let's now move on to the engine options. The Harrier keeps it simple with two options, either a 2000cc 4-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol engine or a 2500cc hybrid. It's available in either front or all-wheel drive. The 2000cc comes coupled to a CVT gearbox, while the hybrid comes coupled to an eCVT gearbox. These engine options are a downsize compared to the previous generation that even came with a V6 option. Most automakers have really downsized their engines, so that has become the norm. The 2000cc is just decent when it comes to power. It will give you average power, which will feel adequate within towns and cities. But when it comes to situations whereby you need to make a quick overtaking maneuver, or when you are going up a steep incline, then you will feel that the car is a little underpowered. The hybrid is a bit better in that regard, and it's also fuel efficient, but at the expense of the hybrid complexity, which may haunt you financially once those batteries are due for replacement. That's why it's always recommended to buy a hybrid with low mileage, around 50,000 kilometers or even less, so that you can fully maximize on the hybrid battery's life. These batteries normally last between 10 to 15 years. Let's now talk about the Kia Sorento. It has several engine options. There's a 2400cc naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, then a 2000cc turbo, then a 3300cc V6, and lastly a 3500cc V6. As for the diesels, there's either a 2000cc turbo or a 2200cc turbo. Its engine offerings are reminiscent of German cars, which normally come with several engine options, some with even different outputs. All these engines can come coupled to either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed torque converter automatic. So there's no CVT option, it's just the normal conventional automatic. Kias and Hyundais have really come a long way. There was a time when they used to be considered as poor quality cars, and they were actually cheap or affordable. So the few who bought them only did so because of their attractive prices. But things have now really changed over the years. Like for example, this 2015 Kia Sorento, it now costs almost the same as its competitors, and it's a high quality SUV. Even the owner's reviews from the global market are all full of praise. They are reliable cars that people can now buy without worrying about the long-term reliability. The most common engine option in the Kenyan market is the 2400cc petrol, and it's decent enough, though it may also feel underpowered with 7 passengers on board. The SUV itself is also quite heavy, so I would say the most ideal option would be the 3300cc. It will be powerful enough, though the fuel efficiency will suffer slightly. And that's one reason why most people will not prefer the V6 options, especially during these times when fuel prices just keep rising. Something about underpowered engines is that you may think that the smaller the engine, the more fuel efficient it will be. But that's not always the case, because you will now be hard on the accelerator to try to get as much power as possible, especially when trying to overtake or when going over steep hills. This will only make the engine consume more fuel because it's underpowered, yet you are trying to force it to produce more power. The more powerful the more powerful engines may be slightly better because you will just need to press the accelerator slightly and you get good power without straining the engine. So the consumption will not suffer that much. Speaking of consumption, the 2000cc in the Toyota Harrier can get up to around 15 kilometers per liter, while the hybrid up to around 20 kilometers per liter. It will depend on how you drive and also how you maintain the car. The Sorento, on the other hand, can get around 11 kilometers per liter. That's the 2400cc. The V6 engines will get below 10 kilometers per liter and it will get worse in traffic, but on the highway they can get up to around 9-10 kilometers per liter. The diesels are better. The 2200cc can get around 15 kilometers per liter. The hybrid variants of the Harrier have a 56-liter fuel tank, while the non-hybrids have a 60-liter tank. Sorento has a larger 71-liter tank. As for the brakes, both SUVs get front ventilated discs and solid discs at the back. The Harrier's cab weight ranges between 1560 to around 1810 kgs, while that of the Sorento ranges between 1680 to 1970 kgs. So it's quite a heavy SUV, especially the V6 all-wheel drive variants. The ground clearance on the Harrier measures in between 155 to 190 millimeters depending on the size of the alloy rims. There are variants that come with 17-inch wheels and some also come with 18-inch. If you get one with a body kit, then the clearance will be worse and going over some bumps may be quite difficult. The Sorento comes with a clearance of around 185 millimeters, which is sufficient enough even for mild off-roading. Lastly, some of the extra features you can get in both SUVs include keyless entry and go, leather interior, panoramic sunroof, auto-dimming rear view mirror, electric seats, wireless phone charging, cruise control, parking sensors, and a navigation system. So both cars come very well equipped. On top of all those, some variants of the Kia Sorento also add cooled seats, a cooled glove box to keep drinks chilled, 2 extra seats at the third row, and a hands-free automatic tailgate. You will only need to stand near the boot for about 3 seconds with the key fob in your pocket, then the boot will automatically open. It's different from the Toyota Harrier system that is also automatic, but you have to press the key fob or press the touchpad on the tailgate itself. So in terms of features, the Sorento is slightly ahead. Now that we are done with the specifications, which one do you think looks better? Do let me know in the comment section. Personally, I think they both look quite good, but I prefer the Kia Sorento's design. It may look a bit like a family SUV, but it also brings out a classy and premium vibe. The Harrier looks elegant, aggressive, and sharp, so both SUVs score well in the looks category. Moving on into the interiors, I think the Harrier is the better SUV. It has a premium look and feel, and even the quality of materials is slightly better than in the Kia Sorento. Space-wise, the Sorento is better. It's more roomier at both the front and back rows. The third row of seats are mostly meant for children or adults of average height. The boot is very big with the third row of seats folded down. You can really fit a lot back there. But once those seats are up, the space is not that much. The Harrier has a decent boot which is very sufficient for a family of 5. So there you have it. Which one should you go for? The Toyota Harrier is a good SUV. It's very reliable, it has a good resale value, and its hybrid option is very fuel efficient considering this is an SUV. Its only downside is its price, which is a bit on the steep side, especially the higher trim levels that can go for as much as 4 million shillings. Now, that said, my recommendation is the Kia Sorento. This SUV is spacious, it looks good, it offers quite a lot for the money, and it's also very reliable. Some people may be worried about its long-term reliability, but you may in fact be surprised at just how reliable this Korean SUV is. It may not have the excellent resale value like the Toyota Harrier, but as I always say, resale value largely depends on how a car is maintained. In fact, the only difference is that a Harrier may sell faster than a Sorento, but that can also change because if people continue to get enlightened, they will realize that there are other good cars out there that they are missing out on. And when that starts to happen, the mantra that the car in front is always a Toyota may start to fade. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks a lot for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars as well as bikes. And if you have any enquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. That's it for this particular episode. Stay safe. See you in the next one.